Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Yin and Yang Show.
I'm Yin.
And I'm Yang, and we about to get into some things. First off, we got the topic of dental, the choppers. As you know, Yin has a beautiful smile. How can you not see it? Give him your smile. Give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him, Yin. So tell us about your smile and what your experience is, because obviously, not obviously, but I know you got veneers.
Yes, so my journey started, well, pretty much when I was young. I always had a gap. So I had a gap since I was little. And so, some things when you're little, it's like insecurities. And so for me, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and like when I get older and I know more about how to get my teeth kind of like to where I want them to be, I'll get them done. Like, because some idiot, not recently, they post on there that my teeth was all messed up. Or my teeth has never looked like that. You've seen my teeth before.
Yeah, I remember what your teeth looked like. Like, they were nice teeth. You just had a gap. Like, yeah. I didn't even mind your gap because they were nice teeth.
People say it gives me character. It's like, you took away your character. Now you think you're all that. I said, no, it's not. I just wanted to always get them, close. And now I'm getting the compliments and recognition that I deserve. So just saying. So, but when I first did it, I started doing Candid. So Candid is like a competitive Invisalign. You have a lot of those with those clear aligners. It's supposed to not be like braces to where they have to put all the metal in and go through all the work. It's just a lot.
And it's visually less intrusive.
Yes.
To most people. Even though I like braces, I think braces are cute. Come over. If you got braces, come on, you might get a little kiss.
Dude's good for you.
Like, yeah, because I don't know what it is about braces that I like. Maybe it's like the nerdy thing, or it's just the idea that you are paying attention to your teeth.
Yeah. So so for me, braces was not going to work because I just was not going to go through all that work to do that. So I did the Candid route. No, don't get me wrong, it did work. They used to have offices that you can go to, and so what they'll do is they will have like the scanner. They'll scan all your teeth. They'll go through all that process, and then they'll send it off to a lab. The lab will then take a week or two to process, and then they send you the box at home. And so then you have to do the different steps to make sure that you're closing your teeth. And while it's also closing, they're also making sure that your other teeth is not being messed up in the process. Now, it did work, but the problem was Candid went through a recent change in their company's policy. And so what that meant that they closed all their offices. So there was no way for you to go in. So now they send you this clay. You have to do the clay and mash it up together, and you have to put it in your mouth. And I wasn't going to do all that work, especially for the amount of money that I spent to get this done in the first place. And so I said, that's not going to work. And then in addition to that, to get your final retainers, was going to cost an additional $400. And I said, well, this is not what I was told. So it was just like all these recent changes started coming about more and more. And I said, this is not going to work for me. So as the aligners that I had from Candid was starting to get wore down, the gap started to open back up. So it's like all the work that I put into it just went out the door. So I started, looking towards veneers. Now, with veneers, and this is why I always tell people do your own research, because if you don't do your own research, you're gonna have an unhappy result. And so I had some friends that had went to Tijuana and got their veneers done. Now, before we get to that part, when I first looked at veneers, it was everybody shaving your teeth down to tombstones. Now, at the time, that might have been true. But now, most people that get their teeth shaved down that way, they're mostly from people that have very bad teeth. So they, hard, heavy drugs or eating a lot of sugars and candies, not brushing and flossing. So their enamel and everything is just really bad. So they have to shave your teeth down because there's nothing for the teeth, the caps to hold on to. Oh. So that's why that's done that way.
Oh, I always wondered. Because like when people were first getting veneers done, I also kind of like researched like the process, and I saw them literally like shaving their teeth down to like fangs basically because they're like sharp. So
correct.
It was like a process that was scary and non-reversible. So now I think things have updated and changed, and the process, let's just say like later on down the line you want to take them off, it's actually reversible.
Yes. Yeah. And in addition to that, when I was researching and trying to get it done in California, I went to a few dental offices, and I'm not going to say the names of them because all dental offices had kind of the same shtick. It was, pretty pricey, $10,000 plus. One of them, which I really liked the service in there, and they were actually going to be my permanent dentist, but they were like, it's going to be $20,000 for the bottom row, and then it's going to be $20,000 for the top row.
That's a car.
Yeah, a car payment, that's $40,000 plus. And I said, and that's not including the anesthesia and the paying for the additional tools they were going to use. And I said, this is just
Wait a minute. So that $40,000 does not include the tools or the anesthesia?
correct.
What?
That would have been additional. So, and I've heard of people that pay like $50,000, $60,000 for veneers, and I was like, that's ridiculous. So I seen one of my friends. He had got, and his teeth was not bad. He had got his teeth done. Well, he's not a friend. He's like an associate. Thank you, Nelson. I love my smile. But he had got his stuff done in Tijuana, and I said, oh, and I noticed. I pay attention to people. I said, where did you get your teeth done? He said, I got my teeth done in Tijuana, and I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, can you send me the information and everything? I'm still looking into veneers, want to know more about them. Send me the information. And when I tell you that the process took around 3 hours, it wasn't very long, and my teeth look amazing. I get compliments from pretty much everybody. They said, and with me, a lot of people say that some people got doggy teeth or horse teeth. It's like when the teeth is super long or it's not done correctly, or you see some veneers that's not done correctly at all. They said, your veneers look amazing. And so it only costs $3,000 for everything. So that's why I tell you, do your research, do your homework, because, what works for you might not work for somebody else, but this is what worked for me. And so I was pretty thankful that, he gave me this information. And that's why I tell people just to make sure that you do it for you.
Yeah, do it for you and do your own research. Hey, we have recommendations, but do your own research.
Exactly.
Wow. That's the difference of pay $40,000 and $3,000. That's a big gap
For the same work. And that's
for the same work.
And that's one thing that was kind of scary, because somebody will say, well, there's a lot of malpractice that goes on over there. There's a lot of, when people get surgeries, they don't come back home, or, they don't make it, I said, we got malpractice over here in America. I said, how many of these doctors who work at these prestigious institutions, and there was one doctor, and we'll probably talk about this in another episode in the future, but it was a doctor from a prestigious institution who was putting screws from the local hardware store in people's backs.
Just Home Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot, and they're not medical screws. And I said, that was in America. And I said, and the guy got away for a long time, even though people spoke about it, and there was whistleblowers that spoke about it plenty of times. So for me, this is why I tell people, I said, you can get malpractice anywhere. My friends did it. I seen that they had got their teeth done. I got it done over there. It was a fraction of the cost, and I'm happy with the results.
Onward to our next topic, which would be car rentals.
Yes.
I know I've had some situations go on with car rental companies, be it me having to stand in line for hours if I didn't make a reservation, or me just bringing the car back either before time or after time, or needing an extension, or there's always like something that goes on when you get a rental car, and some companies are helpful to you and some companies suck. So tell me about your.
Which one do you normally use?
Enterprise, I've used Dollar, and then I've also used Hertz.
Okay. So I use National or Alamo. They are owned by Enterprise. I don't know why they like to try to separate themselves. They're all owned by them, but they have like a different brand strategies. National, you just go out to the car. It's mostly for like business people. Alamo's more for like leisure and travel. And then Enterprise, it's more like your local branches. They do deal with a lot with insurance rentals and body shops, but they also rent to regular customers as well. I use National because you just grab and go. I'm executive lead. I'm executive lead there, so I pick what car I want and I go.
He's bougie, y'all. He's bougie.
So I pick what car I want and I go, and I like them ever since. If I'm not using them, I would use Alamo. The only other one that I would use outside of that would be Avis. I like Avis's services. A lot of them are trying to go to the National model of just grab and go, because it's a lot easier, especially when I travel a lot for work. So, when I'm traveling, and I also like to travel a lot for leisure anyways, I just want to grab and go. I'm not trying to be here for hours on end waiting in the line.
Right, standing in line, waiting for them to get their stuff together, waiting for somebody to wash the car. There's always a situation. I think my past 3 rental cars, I've had to wait. I got there early, but I've had to wait past the time that I reserved for them to clean the car, which is nuts to me. It's nuts.
Yeah, and that could be kind of a weight. So the key here is a lot of people like to hop. Oh, I want to get the cheapest right price and everything. I understand that, but if you stay loyal to like one brand or a brand that's connected to each other, because Hertz I think own 3 other brands, and I think maybe Dollar or one of them is included, and then you have Avis that's partnered with one of those brands as well. So it's pretty much only owned by 3 companies besides Six. Six is the newest car rental agency. So it's pretty much 4, but you see around 10 of them. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I say for me, it's best to pick a brand because with National, you build up credits and points. Avis and Hertz, you do the same thing, but they give you free rentals or free upgrades or et cetera. But for me, I would say National will be number 1 out of all the car rental agencies.
Okay. So tell me about what was the worst experience you had with a car rental?
Worst experience that I had with a car rental agency, it would actually have to be from Enterprise, which is interesting because they own National. So with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, when you go to the counter, they are very heavy on selling insurance. Sell cars, sell insurance, etc. So it's like they're trying to shove it down your throat. And so for me, I was just like, I was already in a car wreck. Not, I wasn't, but my car was in a car wreck. And I said, I just want to grab the car and go. I got other stuff to do at my time. And so with that being said, when I got there, I had to worry about them selling me insurance and all this other stuff. And then when I got the car, it was the car that I didn't want. That was another issue for me. And so that kind of bothered me right there as well. And then on top of that, they kept calling me, oh, your rental's due, your bill is due. I said, you guys, wait a minute. This is an insurance rental, and they are supposed to take care of that. Why are you calling me and blowing up my phone? Don't you have the direct contact to Geico? It's just like common sense things that you should know about that I should not have to be involved in. And so for me, that was probably one of my worst experiences because, I was in that car rental for almost like 6 months and I had to keep going through that. And I said, you guys, if they're paying for it, quit calling me. And so for me, that was one of my worst experiences. One of them.
Just one of them. Oh.
Yeah, just one of them. I have a few. And it was not just from Enterprise. It was some other ones. I had an incident with Hertz before as well. But I'll leave that one there for now.
Okay. And what was your best experience?
National. Grab and go. Sometimes I get into, some of the newest Mercedes, some of the newest BMWs. I drive a BMW myself. So, I like to be in nicer cars, and National does that for you. And the service is good. They're very friendly. Grab and go, they kind of know their clientele. They try their best to make sure you're happy. So for the price, I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. I'm not mad at that. And let's stick with this topic of kind of like travel and cars and things. Let's move on to hotel chains. Yeah. Black boys travel.
Yes, we do.
A lot.
I'm over here
a lot.
sweating. Oh,
Sweating.
so sorry.
He over here
over trying to be cute on camera.
with his jacket on.
Yes, but I will be doing this throughout the show. It's hot in the studio.
Ain't nothing wrong. Hey, go ahead, pat it up. These lights, camera, action on you. So let's talk about hotel chains. I do a lot of traveling myself, and I'm not. A lot of people around me. I don't know why I attract these people that just love extremely extravagant things. When I'm very a simple, just give me a bed as long as the place isn't dirty. Give me a bed, a nice bathroom, because I don't spend much time in my hotel room. I'm sleeping or I'm that's all I'm doing in my hotel room. I'm not luxuriating. I'm not I'll get a super fancy hotel in town for a staycation if I want to luxuriate and sit in a big beautiful tub. I'll do that. But when I'm traveling, I'm all about my experience there. I'm about what we're gonna do in the new town, what we're gonna experience in the culture. I'm all about being out and about and experiencing the outside.
Because you won't be there no way.
Right. So I'm not a person that's ooh, my hotel needs to be bougie and luxurious. So I'm a comforting, I'm a raggedy old. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know about all that
raggedy.
now.
I'm not raggedy, but I'm not mad at a
Motel
clean. I'm not mad at a clean Motel 6. a clean one. And you can tell as soon as you walk in the room what it looks like and what it smells like if it's clean or not. So I will kind of lean this to you because I know you'll be like, oh, listen, I need my.
Hey.
You're more so into the higher end of things than I am. So I'd love to hear what your favorite hotel chain is and what you feel makes a hotel experience great.
So this is what I would recommend. Like just how we spoke about the car rentals on the previous episode, I would say with this, I always recommend having a primary hotel chain and a secondary. So my primary is Hilton, and then my secondary is the Marriott brands.
Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not bougie. However, I do have bougie friends, so I'm a part of the Hilton Honors Group.
Yes.
And I get really nice discounts.
Yes.
So basically, I'm paying the same amount for a Hilton property that I can pay for like a Comfort Inn or like a Motel 6 situation.
Yes.
Just so you know.
And this is a good thing, and this is for like a lot of minorities, Black people, in terms of when you're traveling, because you can tell the vibe of a hotel chain, and so there's those other ones that I do not go to at all because I don't like the vibe there. But the Hilton brands and the Marriott brands I will do. Now with Hilton, I am a Diamond member with them as well. And I love it. They come in, they say, "Hey, sir," they call me Mister. We got your water, we have your stuff here. And I'm just like, "Oh, this is first class." It's just like being with Delta. I mean, so it's like all that is just kind of go together. I go to my room. Your name is on. It looks just like this. Your name is on the actual TV. It's just you get a lot of amenities. You get free upgrades. You also get like a lot of free rooms. I remember they had put me into a penthouse suite for free.
Come on, penthouse suite.
Yes, because I rent with them so often. And so this is the reason why I'll stay with Hilton for a while. Marriott is second because I do like the W. The W is a nice hotel. And they have some good food there too. They got some cooks.
W's real sexy like.
It is, especially the one in Atlanta. I like the ones in Atlanta. Now, I will say this about Hilton. We're being real on the show. This is what we do here. We talk about consumer and business. I will say this, when I go to San Francisco, I do not like the hotels in San Francisco for the Hilton properties. Everybody's trying to be too glamorous, and they're not giving you the glamours that is needed there.
Yeah, so the glam is there, but not the service.
Exactly, and so it's kind of snooty and snotty. There's been times I found hair in my bed multiple times.
Ugh.
And I told them, I said, I need to get new sheets, and sometimes the pillowcases are dirty and stuff. And with these hotels, and what a lot of people don't know, a lot of times these maids don't have a lot of time to do it. Because I spoke to a few maids at some of these hotels, and they said they only give us like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max. We have to hurry up and get done, so we can't get everything clean the way we want to get them clean within an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Or without getting dinged on their annual review or something like that. So it's like a catch-22 for them. They're trying to figure out how to balance it. But for me, if I see hair in the bed or something, that's a problem for me. Because with the properties in San Francisco, they would charge you, a hotel room is sometimes $400 a night. I said, well, you got to give me $400 a night service.
Listen.
I've seen some hotels that was only $100 and they gave better service than that. But the cooks is better, the people are more friendlier, and I don't have hair in my bed. And I've seen some where I had boo-boo stains on the toilet. I said, I mean, come on now. I said, y'all didn't clean this room. I said, there's impossible. So then I have to switch out, and then that's a whole nother process. You got to go back downstairs. They got to give you another key card. It's a lot of processing.
Yeah, I hate when I have to complain about my room.
Yeah.
I hate when I have to, oh, this isn't it. Oh, I don't have an ice bucket. Oh, I don't have these. Like, if you're paying above,
Especially $400 a night.
Yeah, if I'm paying above $150, there better not be nothing wrong with my room. I'm that person. Listen, don't play with my money, don't play with my time, and don't play with me.
Yes.
Play with Jesus.
He got all the time in the world.
He got all the time in the world. I'm trying to think of one of my worst.
Yeah, what is one of your worst?
One of my worst.
And good experiences as well.
My best hotel experience. Okay, so I did my 40th birthday just passed, and we went to. Thank you. Yeah, we went to Puerto Vallarta, and we stayed at a place called the Pinnacle, and they have like 3 different properties, and it's right atop of the hill, like from the beach. They're very nice, very very nice. So they're basically like condos, and there's townhouses. We had like a 2-level loft situation that was all glass. It's beautiful. Again, it's called the Signature Pinnacle. I would check it out. So if you're going to PV, dope place to stay. What I loved about it was the service. They clean the room every day if you wanted it. If you didn't want it, you could just leave your thing on the door. They greet you like as soon as you come in. They offer you drinks. They ask you if you need anything. Do you need us to hold your bags here while your room is being prepared? Because we got there kind of early. It was just such a great experience. And when you go to either like the rooftop or one of the public areas, they have towels for you. They're just so attentive. And I don't know if that's a PV thing in general, but the Signature Pinnacle, it was definitely a 5-star review for me. But one of my worst experiences, let me think. I think it had to be in San Francisco. It was in San Francisco. I'm not gonna say the name of this hotel,
I would. So would.
Because I don't want to say the wrong one because we were bouncing in between two. So what happened was, so I did a reservation online because like it was a kind of a last minute thing that we were going to be staying. We were going to drive home, but we decided to stay. So this was probably like 7 or 8 at night. So I'm on the website trying to reserve, and it's just giving me problems. So I called the hotel, and she said there was a room available. And so I did everything I needed to reserve it. I think the room came to like maybe like 1:30 or something. So we get there, and there is no attendant. There's no attendant in the lobby. In the lobby, no sign, no, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Went to the bathroom, at lunch, nothing. So we sit there, we sit on their little couches, we just wait for a bit, because we're just saying, hey, just give them the benefit of the doubt. So 10 to 15 minutes go by, and then someone comes out from the back and just tapping at their desk, drinks their little water. They don't even notice that we're sitting on the couches right in front of their counter. So we say, hi, and they're just like, hi.
Fix it,
Nothing
Jesus.
else.
Fix
Nothing else. Nothing else. Hi. I'm like, hi. I called and reserved. Oh, okay. Come. That's all right. We go through the process, get our keys, get up to the room. Total devastation. Like the what is it? The duvet cover is all like wrinkled, and there's usually they have like these kind of like runners that they go across the end of the bed. That's like off to the side and weird looking. We go into the bathroom. There's hair in the tub. There's a used bar of soap on the sink. Yeah.
Shame.
No.
Shame.
No. So I think that is actually what prompted my membership to the Hilton Honors Group, because I was like, I refuse to be this person.
Yeah.
So you really have to check reviews at hotels. Like
Yes.
once we left the hotel, I actually checked the reviews, because I'd just be looking for, because I'm not the type of person to need a super high quality experience. I'd just be looking for a bed because we just need sleep. But after we left there, I checked the reviews, and in the reviews, they said those exact same things that I found. So people, please make sure you're doing your research, make sure you are Googling, make sure you are Yelping and looking at the reviews of these hotels. Something that really bothers me, and a reason why I'm really interested and really pushing this show, is I want people to hear what experiences are really happening. Because there's a lot of businesses. There's a lot of businesses out here that are thriving and are terrible businesses. And I want people to understand to not continue patronizing these businesses, because if we stop patronizing these businesses, either number one, they will close, or number two, they will get their shit together and be better at their customer service.
Amen.
And then number three, it will give space to actual great businesses to receive the customers and clientele that they deserve. Because we definitely will be shouting out people that have really great service, especially in this town.
Your business.
Yes, your business. And in our next coming episodes, we will be inviting actual businesses to talk about their businesses so you can really know what's going on out in these streets. There's a lot of small businesses, smaller boutique hotels, just services out here that a lot of people don't even know about because they're not really on the ground and visiting and, really patronizing businesses like we do. We're people that we go to restaurants, we get our nails done, we get massages, we go to spas, we travel. So we're always on planes, we're in rental cars, we're in hotels, we're all over the place. So why not give you the information from our mouths? And we're truthful. We're not what we believe in is being honest. And sometimes the honest truth sucks. It sucks sometimes,
yes,
but
it is.
That's the way things need to be for things to get better. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave you guys with that. Make sure you're checking reviews. Make sure you are paying attention to the businesses that you are patronizing, because you don't want to just be giving money to a business that is literally just taking from the community and not giving the service back.
And to be fair, if we say something about your business or something, we don't mind you calling in or coming to the show.
Right.
We don't mind having a conversation about it.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't the way it seemed. Sometimes, people will take a camera, they will film something that happened at the hotel, and there's like there was a little more to the story that happened there. This is why this happened the way this did.
Right.
We don't mind that. We're fine with that. So if you want to come to the show, and also if you're a consumer, you want to come to the show, talk about a product or service that's good or bad, and we will invite both parties on the show.
Absolutely.
That way it can be worked out.
Right.
Now, we know a lot of large corporations, they always send out the generic response.
Right.
From legal. We can't talk about this, and it's under investigation or whatever. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
But your product and service will be talked about on the show.
Absolutely.
But you're always invited.
Right, exactly. And playing devil's advocate, when we do have a bad experience at a place, who knows? That could be that one experience that was had. That could have been a fluke. But when you go back and Google and you see that that's not it, there's more to the story, So we would love to have feedback from not only people that have either had the same experience or the opposite experience, but the business itself. That's the idea. We want to get feet on the ground. We want you to know for yourself so you can have a good experience in life. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. So let's move on to another topic because myself, I'm a nightlife person. I'm a night owl. I am the night owl person. I be out in these streets. So I do everything from day parties to like your normal club hours, which is like from 10 to 2. But then I also do after hours. So at after hours, most of them are underground. They're either, at a warehouse or at an establishment that doesn't have like a curfew or anything crazy. But first, I really want to talk about some really cool parties that happen here in Los Angeles. A really awesome day party, which starts about like 5 p.m. This one, it goes like from 5 to 10. Well, actually, supposedly 5 to 8, but they usually go like 5 to 10 because the party be so good. And they're like, we're staying. The DJ's going to get back on. They're going to play some more songs. It's a party called Utopia. And it's house music. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, not only do they have great food at this place, they have great drinks at this place. The vibe is amazing. The service is great. The DJs are awesome. And the people that come are just great people. Great people. Most people that listen to house music are just happy people. But this particular party, it's thrown by people that are LA natives, and it's based around being part of a tribe. So if you go to their Instagram page, I think it's called Utopia Tribe. But not only do they throw parties, but they do events. So they do every Sunday they do a party at the rooftop at Mama Shelter here in Hollywood. That's something you should definitely check out. Make sure you go on the website to RSVP first, otherwise you won't get in. But they also do events at Leimert Park, and they also do events at a park that's out in the valley, I think like near Balboa Park, where they give away food. Like they give away food and groceries to people that need it.
I need some food.
He overslept today. I had breakfast and I feel good.
I did.
But yeah, so things like that I really love for people to know about and support, because they are supporting the community like nobody's business. When I tell you they play the best music, and so like I said, everybody at the party has good vibes, but it's not just one demographic. A lot of these parties that you go to, it will be mainly like kind of like one demographic or even like one age group. This particular party, you can see people from because the space is kind of transitional. Like if you get there earlier, there will still be like kids in the space, and then you'll also like literally you will see ages 5 to 99 getting it like nobody's business, sweating their hair and makeup off and out and having the best time on a Sunday at Utopia, okay? So if you have not been to a good day party that gets your goat going, it's Utopia.
All right.
I support Utopia, goddammit. And moving on to a different time bracket, which is like normal club hours, my favorite evenings would be probably Thursdays and Sundays. There's, I would say, an area, not just a club, West Hollywood. Okay. When I mention West Hollywood, a lot of people are just like, oh, the gays. Very true. It's a gay area, and it's run by the gays. But still, straight people have a great time. Like straight people, straight and, other, them, they, everybody has a great time in West Hollywood, because there's something for everybody. One of my favorite places to start at is Trunks or Gym Bar. The reason why I start there is the drinks are stronger and cheaper. And I'm all about pinching a penny.
Amen.
Even when I got it, I don't want to spend it, okay? I'd be like, I love looking at the way this looks in my bank account.
Yes.
Why am I just giving it out if I don't need to? My friends know me, like I'm all about an experience versus a high-priced moment. I'm like, is this experience gonna be good? Okay, I'll pay that money. But if I'm going into if I'm paying like $40 to get into a club to stand around and look at people, no, that ain't for me. So again, I started like Trunks and Gym Bar. Both of them have great music. Again, the drinks are cheaper. And stronger. They get you lit. They get your night started. And then usually people move over to the Abbey or Chapel.
Come on, Donna.
Yes, Donna.
Yes.
Donna Montel, baby.
She can play.
Listen,
She
Donna
can
Montel
play.
will get you together at the Abbey. So anytime you see that she's going to be spinning, you better be ready to get your life. Because she will take you anywhere from like hip hop to pop to the best EDM of your life. Okay, Donna will get you together and get you sweating.
And everybody will be dancing.
Dancing.
That's one thing you will
Dancing,
guarantee.
we love dancing. I hate a stand around ass club. Ooh, I hate it. Ooh, it grinds my gears. Makes me so upset. So after people leave Trunks or Gym Bar, they'll move over to Abbey or Chapel. And then on Sundays, same thing. We start at Trunks or Gym Bar, and then we'll move over to Abbey for a little bit, and then we'll go over to Harp, which is an event called Legacy. Legacy is a black run event. The person who runs it, his name is Brandon Anthony. He's from New Orleans, so he usually brings that flavor. And it's usually the in crowd of the black and brown people. Sometimes he'll have celebrity appearances. They do that at Abbey as well, but usually at his clubs, it's more people that I know. It's usually like the, reality people or the black people in music. Like your Amber Rileys or your what's his name? Todrick Halls, like your black young Hollywood celebs, they'll go there on Sundays. And for after hours, there's a couple of different parties after hours. So you can look up Lick and Dip, which is one of my favorites. It kind of started out of nowhere and blew up into this really big thing. So now they have like events several times a week. It used to be just, I think, Thursdays or Saturdays. But this event starts at like midnight and goes to about 5. And they have the best underground DJs there. It's more so like EDM, house driven, not so much pop. So it's more underground, and the people are dancing for their lives, taking their shirt off and sweating. But this is everybody. It's not just like a gay party, or it's not even in a gay area. It's downtown, usually like in a warehouse. There's another after hours chain called the Midnight Society. They're my favorite by far because their parties aren't as large. They're a little bit more upscale and family oriented. So like when you get into their venues, like you immediately feel like you're at home and that you almost should know everybody that's around in the space. Great DJs. They also pick a lot of underground DJs that are, bubbling under the surface and not just, traveling the world and getting money everywhere, but like they're in LA and they've done their research. They know what kind of music to play. They'll play something that you've never heard before, but you want to Shazam for your life. And let me see, is there another? There's another after hours party group of people. Well, I say person. You should look up, I guess, Kari Wood. Awesome. His parties are geared more toward the LGBTQ, trans, and everybody community, but it's more about being inclusive. Not that the other after hours parties are not inclusive. The other after hours parties are more geared towards straight people, but they welcome everybody. But Kari Wood parties in particular are firstly welcoming the LGBTQIA plus community, but then the straights are always welcome because we have friends all over the gambit. So those are my 3 picks for after hours. So if you're in LA, make sure you hit me up or hit up one of those parties. Any parties that you enjoy? You're not really a nightlife person though.
Not in America. I'll tell you, I don't party in America. I party like overseas. Like I would go party in PV, which is like the beginner's level. But you want to talk about some parties?
You talking about Brazil?
Brazil.
Listen, Brazil will get you together. I haven't been yet. I've only seen videos, and friends have gone, and they're just like, listen, you need to go.
It's on a different level. You pay for what you. First of all, the tickets are not as expensive as the parties out here in America. So I went to a few of the parties. Like Atlanta is where I really started partying a lot, and so there used to be this place called Club Opera. Club Opera was amazing. You talk about having a good time. This is before they changed the name. Clubs change their names frequently. Yeah. But Club Opera, it was like an experience. Everybody was there. Everybody was dressed up. Everybody was dancing. The drinks were good. I thought that was one of the better clubs. Our horrible club experience was Club Compound. Lord. Club Compound, I'll go. I'm bi, so I go on both straight and gay night.
Same. 2 bi guys. Look at that.
I'm because you have a kid and everything, so we're bi, and so we get the best of both worlds. Why limit ourselves? And went to Club Compound. I seen how like with straight night. I mean, everything was open. It was beautiful. The girls looked amazing. Everybody dressed up. I was like, oh, this is a really nice experience. And so one of my friends, he said, well, let's go on because I guess it's called First Fridays or something. He said, let's go on one of the gay nights. So we went on a gay night. When I tell you that they had them waiting in line for hours just to get in, they only let it like the popular people get in first. So people.
I hate that. And I hate the whole Hollywood hold the line, make it look like it's going crazy on the inside situation.
And when you looked inside, because we got in because my friend, he kind of knows the promoters and everything. and it was a empty space. It was not a lot of people in there. All the people were outside, and they were making them wait to get in for the anticipation. By the time they got in, I mean, it was like 1, 2 o'clock when they was able to finally get in,
Right.
and the club was going to be closing around 4.
Right.
So I was like, and then on top of that, I didn't like how they treated the clientele, the gay population. It was very nasty. The drinks were overpriced actually, because on straight night the drinks were not as the same price as it was on the gay night. And I was like, huh, interesting.
Oh, they're more expensive?
They were a little more expensive, and it also
They try it.
the bottom of the there was like different sections of the club. They closed off those sections, and I asked them. I said, "Well, why did y'all close it off?" They said because they said gay people don't know how to act. And it was kind of sad, but it was true out there because I kid you not, probably 30 minutes into it, there was fights already breaking out.
Oh, good.
Beer bottles, wine, everything, people fighting across the floor, and I'm just like, this is so not fun. And I think everybody's trying to be seen on camera. You know, social media really got people feeling themselves when they go to these clubs. So people want to be filmed fighting and stuff, and I was just like, this is not my scene. I didn't like how the club treated the clientele, and I didn't like how the clientele treated the club. So I said, you know what, this will be my last time going there. I went there in like almost 5, 6 years. Oof. I said I was good on that. But for me, I don't party here because, you know, I usually, I started learning about a little bit of circuit and circuit parties. And I think we'll talk about this more fully in another episode. Circuit was pretty much watered down house music that black people created. And so when you see the DJs up there, it's the same beat, same. And I was just like, I said, y'all listening to this? And then you start to find out that the reason why people can listen to it on the same beat is because they're high on drugs. And I said, no. I said, that's not going to work. I said, y'all need some DJs with some flavor. So when you go to Brazil, people are dancing. They got flavor and everything. You come to a circuit party, and I went to one, and people said, well, you went to Barcelona. I said, let me tell you something. I didn't like how, I didn't like that we did all this promotion. There was hardly any black DJs there, but everybody's playing a Whitney Houston,
Right.
A Nicki Minaj remix, they're playing all this stuff, but there's no black DJs, there's no black dancers. And then also when you go to those parties, they're very segregated. The Asians hang over here, and the blacks and you got a black and Latino crew, then you have a Latino crew that's like, we're the white Latinos, whatever that means. We're a white Latino, and they hang around the whites, and then you have the all whites, and just hearing a story about it, and I'll tell you about this in another episode, but just hearing the story of why it is the way it is, I'm just like, who wants to be a part of that environment? That's not fun. Right. Brazil, you see men and women, all nationalities, all religions, all different shades of colors. The rhythm of, and people been to carnival, the rhythm of these songs that they do, it's just mind-boggling. They have presentation. They had like pyrotechnics. They had flamethrowers. I was like, all this for the price that we paid? I said, this was amazing. So for me, if it comes down to it, I don't party no more in America. Besides, if I don't get in VIP, you ain't gonna see me there, and it gotta be VIP for free. So that's just that's one of those things. But we do know some people that's starting some up and coming parties. Yes. I know that you said somebody that you know is doing parties. Tell me more about that.
Oh, so we have a mutual friend. His name is Edwin. And if you, I think on his socials, I think it's like Edwin Presents, EDWYNN. And his parties are mostly like for us, the black and the brown people. He plays mostly, well, his DJs play mostly like hip hop, reggae, pop music. And his parties started just like at his house, like near LAX. Him and his boyfriend at the time just started throwing like smaller like events and parties at their house. Like there was like a Christmas party where they decorated everything. There was like snow and everything and stockings and gifts. Like they started off like really well, and they just got a little bit too big for their house. So he started, at first he talked to me. He was like, so I want to like start events. Like, what do you think? Do you think people would like? How much do you think like people would pay to like come to my party, etc.? Like, do you think what kind of venue should I use? So it kind of started there, and then I sent him a couple recommendations. He found some things on his own. He started doing like a few bar takeovers, which started going well, and then he moved into doing like just straight up like just parties where people pay $20, come in, pay for the drinks, all that good stuff. And just recently, he had a tribes party, which is, your tribe. So you and your group come dressed it either like in the same hue, same color, same vibe. And this particular party, there were tiers. So there was I believe, a general admission, which I think was like $20. You go in and, supposedly you're supposed to be able to just pay for your drinks when you get inside. There was another tier, which was, I think, open bar. I think that was like 40 or like $40. And I think maybe when you get there is like $50, like at the door, but like 40 if you purchased ahead of time. So at this particular party, people that said, the venue was like really cool, really great. I think it was like a warehouse. But there may have been something going on with like the liquor license there, because they had to do some kind of separation where they did the open bar separate. So if you just bought a general admission ticket, you either had to have cash to buy your drink, or you just couldn't buy drinks. And if you didn't wear a wristband, you couldn't be seen holding a drink. So it was like really one of those like.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a little too much.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
That's too much.
So, I had some people that went, and some people that bought, the open bar ticket, and they had to, wait a bit in line, which is, for me, it's expected. If there's an open bar, you're probably going to be waiting in line. And then there's some people that just bought the general admission ticket and, normal, ready to, pay for drinks with your card, but they couldn't because they only would accept cash at the bar. And there was no ATM in this venue. Again, this is like a warehouse kind of venue. So there's no ATM on the inside, and there's no in and outs. But they didn't really explain that to people before they entered. So if you entered and you didn't stop at the ATM first, you're just kind of SOL and just watching people dance and drink. I mean, you're dancing, but you can't enjoy the libations. I mean, not that you need libations to have a good time, but hey, it just makes it all better. So there's, that was kind of like a low and up situation. So maybe he learned from that experience that he had, because his other parties haven't been like that. So.
Yeah, because the other one I've been to, I've been to his house parties, but there was the one that he had did at an actual club.
Yeah.
It was a normal club experience. You can pay with cash or card or all that stuff. He did a very good job in terms of the presentation. Right. There was security there. I was really proud of him because it looked good, it was organized, and there was no fights there. You know, when you're getting a hip hop crowd,
yeah,
you're kind of on edge. You don't know if it's going to be a fight or a shooting that breaks out. I'm just keeping it real with people.
Right.
But I said he did a very good job in terms of presentation. Now, for me, the negative side of that was the clientele. When you get the hip hop crowd, you still get kind of, it didn't break out to a fight or anything, but you get that, I'm this, and people doing all that, and I was just like, and this place is not giving me that type of energy, okay, for you to be acting like that.
Right.
And then there was a few people I came with. They came with sweatshorts and stuff, and saggy pants that somebody else I knew invited, and I said, y'all want me to get a sectional with them looking like that? Absolutely not. Not in this lifetime. Won't be happening here. So I said, when I went inside, it was also, the party vibe was not giving sectional. So I was like, okay, this is cute and everything. Then I heard that some people got a sectional because they knew him or something. I said, this is cool and everything. I did my drink and left, but I wouldn't be coming back. But I wish him the best of luck with that.
Yeah.
I really do, because I think that he's doing a good thing.
Yeah.
And so far I heard most good things besides all the changes that's happened, which I think you experienced.
Yeah. So in the nightlife industry, when you're trying to do events, there are some things that you have to kind of go through and experiences. There's some mistakes that you kind of have to make. And just because, there's a bad experience or, mistakes happen, that doesn't mean like the event or the promoter or, establishment is bad. So we just want to point out certain things. So either, hey, we'll probably have Edwin come on and talk about his parties and, even explain some of the roadblocks that he had in the beginning and how it's going now. So if you can, definitely check out Edwin. Again, you spell his name EDYW. Wait, no, EDWYNN.
We'll have it on the video as well.
We'll
have it
we'll
displayed
put it
for you.
below.
We'll have it below for you.
Yes, but yes, I'm very much a nightlife person. I love when people get together and have a good time. Yes, and that's my edition of LA nightlife.
Yes.
Moving on, literally moving on. Let's talk about the HOV lane. You know, so Los Angeles is
Crowded.
crowded as fuck, crowded as fuck. Okay, so at any given time, you can be stuck in traffic. Any given time, like 2 p.m. on a Sunday, you could be stuck in traffic. At 2 a.m. on a Sunday, you could be stuck in traffic. At 7 p.m., good luck, you are stuck in traffic somewhere. Avoid the 405, avoid the 101, avoid the 10, avoid the 105, avoid them all, avoid the freeways if you can.
Back
Okay?
streets.
Take the back streets if you know them. But let's talk about like the HOV lanes and the fast track. So I'm one who often travels by myself, so I don't necessarily use the HOV lane a lot, but some people do. So what about you? So tell me about your experiences with, you know, traveling or being stuck in traffic here in Los Angeles.
Well, I think they should do away with the HOV lane. I said because it's not doing anything. When COVID started happening, you started seeing them change the HOV lanes more towards fast track. Fast track makes more sense because the fast track lanes, people don't want to pay. Everybody wants free. Things in life, especially in this day and age, it's not free. So people have to pay certain cents or dollars per mile to be in that lane. Traffic moves. So people that's like business professionals, people that need to get somewhere, they have a chance to get into the fast track. Now, when you put that with the HOV lane or something, which doesn't make sense, HOV, they get over, you know, you have grandma and her kids, and she gets over driving 50 miles an hour. It doesn't make any sense for grandma to be in this lane because now she just slowed down all that traffic.
Right.
And so what the HOV lane was supposed to do is it's like more of a carpool where you get all these people in this lane, and is more people being able to travel. But if they're all in the same house, it doesn't really make any. I mean, it doesn't really change anything because they were going to. It's all those people in that car anyways, but they were all going to the same place.
Right.
It's not like they were splitting up into different locations.
Yeah.
So for me, the HOV lane doesn't make any common sense. Now with the fast track, when you get a place with fast track, you get there a lot quicker. Traffic moves a lot quicker. People pay for what they're getting. And I do like that. Now, you do see some people that shouldn't be in fast track. You do see that happening. And I think, and this is just might be an unpopular opinion, but I believe that the city should start raising the rate of fast track a little bit because everybody doesn't deserve fast track. I'm sorry, this is the yen coming out of me. I think it should be more for like business professionals and people that's trying to get to where they need to go. And there's a lot of business out here, or people that just can afford to get into that lane. But everybody just getting over there, when they reduce the rate so low, it's too many people over there. You can reduce it at night when it's, you know, not that much traffic, but in daytime, I think that they should do away with the HOV and make it all fast track across the board.
I agree, because I'd be sick of this traffic.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay. Because, traffic is so maddening. Like, so maddening. It's like, then like imagine if you like have to go to the bathroom and you are stuck on a goddamn freeway.
Ooh, don't have the runs.
Don't have the runs. Don't eat nothing funny. Okay.
It's over.
Baby.
It is over for you.
Because I have been there. Been there and just been like,
I had a friend that he said how he stops from having to use it. He does this and lays down, and I said, "Oh my God!" He said at work because he said he barely made it into the house. I said, "Oh my God!" It's just too much, and I think that and also this is another thing. This is a little sidetrack, but with COVID, I mean, you could see the air quality was so much clearer because all those cars wasn't on the road.
Yes.
The city looked cleaner. And the thing is, with COVID, a lot of these companies where people can work from home should be working from home.
Right.
I don't see why. And you got the reason why a lot of these bosses want you to come back to work is they're nosy. Let's just keep it real. They want to see what you're doing. They want to
micromanage.
Yeah, you don't need to see what I'm doing. If the same amount of work was able to be done at home,
right?
Why do I need to add to traffic to have more people in staying on the freeway,
right?
And add an extra body when I can just do the same work from home,
right?
So I think that there needs to be some type of law or some type of credit from the governor that gives some of these businesses that's having people work from home, it's like a credit, because I think that's what they're wanting, like more of an incentive. And if the companies see an incentive, I think they wouldn't mind a lot of people working from home.
Right. And then I think it's smarter to have people working from home because you don't have as much overhead and you don't have to have such a huge office. You know
exactly.
What I'm saying? That makes a lot of sense. I miss the pandemic.
I do too. Stay in the house.
Listen, I don't necessarily miss COVID being so rampant, but I miss the empty streets.
Yes.
I miss the people being scared to go shopping. I just miss the clean air. Being able to breathe and people not being all up on you when you stand in line. They've gone back to that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you stand in line at just, like a restaurant or, just fast food or whatever, and somebody's literally on your ass. But in the pandemic, it was a 6 feet moment.
You walked in, walked out, it was good.
I miss 6 feet. 6 feet.
Bring it back.
6 feet.
I recommend bringing it back.
Bring it back, please. Jesus. So I did a lot in the pandemic. A whole lot in the pandemic. Some people went through devastation in the pandemic. I had a great time. A great time. So I went from someone who was working 16-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week, to someone who works maybe like 3 hours a day if I work. But making 3 to 5 times the amount of money because I'm solely focused on working for myself and my business. I'm not working under a company or under like a boss. Like I have control of my time. Thank God.
Yes.
And I'm just a lot happier and just not stressed. So I went to school during the pandemic. I got married during the pandemic. I had a son during the pandemic. Bitch, I was thriving during the pandemic. I'm still thriving, but like the pandemic was the beginning of what I felt was thriving for me. I've always been all right. Like I've always like had a job and done things. Not that I haven't had hard times, but like I've always been one to be able to do for myself. But like I feel like the pandemic gave me a moment to slow down and look around and really figure out what I wanted, which was not working under someone. You know what I'm saying? Like just up under, like, oh, what do you need? Okay, I'll go get it. I'll go do that. Like I'm very much a person that cares and I'm very much attentive to my people, and I'm just that person. So like naturally, I will take the work when it comes to me, and I'm that person that wants to get stuff done and enjoys working. So the pandemic gave me a moment to just kind of like stop and look around and like really look at what I was doing and where it was going to be taking me. And it was down a rabbit hole of death if I kept going at that rate. So I'm here and I'm happy and I'm alive, So our last subject for today is, I used to be an Android person. Android, because
Same here.
I worked in, I do a lot of shit. I'm just gonna say that. But I do a whole lot of shit. Like when it comes to everything that has to do with entertainment. I danced, I did choreography, I was an actor, I'm a singer, I edited music, I edited video, and often when it came to people that had iPhones, it was hard to match and send or sync files because of like the licensing stuff, but like with Android it was very simple, straightforward. I could use like whatever file was sent to me, but recently things have changed and things are a little bit better. And then like the person that I got into a relationship was like so mad at my green bubbles and actually bought me an iPhone. So I'm now an iPhone person. Even though I've always used like a Mac computer, I had an Android phone. But it does make it easier when you have, all Apple stuff, even though I'm not about that monopoly life. But
Because it all syncs. No,
it does. It does all sync,
Yeah.
and it makes sense.
Apple's a good product.
It is. And now that I've acclimated to it, I've been an Apple person for about like almost like 3 years now. So like it's now my home. So like it's my native system now, and I probably wouldn't even know how to use an Android anymore these days. But I will say it is a lot easier. The quality's great, especially like the photos,
Yes.
the videos, the 4K quality. We love that. And I actually still have my 12. I still have a 12. So I think now what version are they on now? I think they're on the 14.
They're on the 14, which is a horrible mess.
Oh,
Horrible
well.
mess. Don't get me wrong, I like Apple. I've been with Apple for quite a few years, 5 plus. I don't know when I really transitioned over to Apple, but when I did, it was just so much easier. No SIM cards, because that's what you had to do with Android.
Yeah.
There was no SIM cards. If you lose your phone, which was a big thing back in the past, if you didn't have the numbers already written down because it was in the SIM card with an Android, you just lost all those phones and had to get everybody's numbers again. So that means you have to reach out on Facebook and et cetera. Apple is stored on the cloud. Anything happens, it's automatically downloaded. So if the phone gets lost, it's like you don't lose your life. Because, I mean, that's where a lot of your credit card information is stored now. This is where you have a lot of your apps and how you contact people. So all that's stored on there.
Right.
And so it's a lot easier now if you just lose your phone or you need to switch over a phone, which was also a problem with the SIM cards, because sometimes the SIM card won't sync everything. So then some of the contacts won't go over there.
Yeah.
Apple has that.
Yeah.
Now with the latest model, the 14, I got the 14 Max. It's a piece of crap. I hate to say it that way. The 12 was amazing. The best.
Apple, do better.
You got to do better. I think the best two versions of the phone that I personally liked, based off the support that you got from it and the way that the product worked, was the iPhone 6 and the 12. The 12 was amazing. You type something, it will autocorrect, but it autocorrect correctly. With the 14s, it doesn't do that. It will spell the word incorrectly, or when you type, it will type a letter 2 steps over. I get a lot of dropped calls. I get a internet connection that doesn't
I've
get
heard
through.
that a lot.
Yeah.
I've heard a few of my friends have had issues with their iPhone 14s.
Yes. And when you do the troubleshooting with when I called Apple support, what they will say is that, you need to do another update. And I said, why do I have to do all these updates for a phone that costs almost $1,400? I mean, I think this is ridiculous. I said, we need to make sure that this phone is working. I said the update should be for any additional like little ancillary things, but not where the software has to be updated because you didn't do the phone correctly. And that's the problem I have with Apple. And so I don't know if this good trend with Apple will continue based off the 14 and how it's currently doing, but hopefully they fix something to make it a little bit better, because it can't be like the 14s. The 14s was a disaster.
Oof. Well, I don't know because I still have my 12.
One of the better ones, which was
Yes.
the 12 and the iPhone 6.
Yeah, and I'm actually one of those people. So I have friends that are I'm upgrading every time there's a new one that comes out. I have so many of those friends.
Actually,
But
they're
I'm-
not supposed to do that. Sorry to cut you off there. They're not supposed to do that. They're actually supposed to do it every 2 years. You get more of a credit, and it's a little bit better for you than doing it every year.
Yeah, no, I know people that do that as well, but I know people that literally every time there's a new one coming out, they're getting that new one, they're switching out their phone for that new one. I'm very much not that person. I ride my shit until it does me dirty, okay? Till the wheels
Old school.
fall off. As you see, my screen is a little bit cracked. That's the screen protector. My actual screen is fine. But I'm very much if it works, I'm gonna continue to use it. If I have issues with it, that's when I'm like, okay, maybe I need to look into a new situation. But what I did notice is that every time a new phone comes out, I have some type of thing that goes weird with my phone. But it's only a day or two, so it's maybe when they're uploading a new system or whatever, maybe there's some bug fixes or whatever. That happens, I guess, with everybody. But I just don't. I'm not the person to always upgrade my phone, and I haven't had issues besides maybe like a day or two when they're bringing out like a new version or like a new operating system for or upgrade for the phones. So like I love my 12. I love it. As you can tell, I have the Apple Watch as well. Thanks for buying this for me, babe. We love you. They match. But yeah, I don't really see the point in upgrading all the time. And I hate that in companies like Apple, they'll slightly change attachments or like they'll take away the headphone jack or something, so you have to have like a dongle to like listen to regular headphones or plug in some type of aux cord if you need to like use it for like a music event or something.
Unnecessary changes.
Right, unnecessary changes and extra add-ons, so you have to spend more money. So I don't appreciate that, and I feel like I'm like one of those people that when I feel people or companies are taking advantage of me, I get butthurt. I get really upset. I'm like, oh no, no. Why? You're making enough money already. Why are you trying to get more money out of me? I get upset. I really do. So I will just be sticking with my 12 until it just goes left on me.
Hey, I don't blame you. I would say wait until the 15 comes out.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if y'all get any more of my money. Y'all and y'all little attachments and things. Just trying to. And then like even like the charge ports. So like I have my iPhone takes the regular Lightning cord, but my iPad takes the USB-C. But like why for what? Like why for what? Why are we doing this? Why are we changing? For what? Why can't we have something that works universally with all of your cords and things? That's stupid. I don't like it. I'm not upset. I'm not bitter. I'm not. Okay, I might be. Okay. Back to you. How about... So aside from like the problems you've had with your 14, how is that going? Because you have two. You have two.
Nothing's changed.
He has two phones, by the way.
Well, one for work and one for business. You never want to have like your business, like, because people be texting you stuff and you'll respond, and it's not the response that should have been sent to your boss. And I've seen a lot of people that have done that, and then they have to explain themselves at work, even though people know it's an accident.
What kind of response? Like a picture or something? You send a pic to your boss?
Anyways.
Somebody sent a whole pic to their boss.
Anyways.
It's like, Sandy!
No, it's just you have to just, you have to keep it separate. And also, it's easier. I use my other phone mostly for business, so when you are filling out applications and stuff like that, I don't want them calling my personal phone. Like, I can just keep the other one at home, and they can just blow that phone up and send messages and emails all they want. But when it's your personal, you don't want everybody calling all at once. It's a lot. So, it's good to keep it. And you get some, I'm with T-Mobile, you get a good deal. So, I actually like it. I just don't like the 14s.
I would have two phones. However, I just always have so much on me. I don't need an extra phone. I just don't. I'll just use a Google number for my business. That's what I do. Or a text now, Keep it simple, free number. But for me, because I always carry so much stuff, my partners call me the bag lady because I always have like a bag or something somewhere. Because I always have a bunch of stuff. I be needing stuff. But I've gotten better. I didn't wear it today, but I usually wear like a vest that keeps all my stuff in it because I'm always, always somewhere doing something and need stuff. So, I've gotten better about my bag lady-idness. So, we're going to close today with a little bit of story time.
Oh, story time.
A little bit of story time. And just to precursor you guys, our story times may not have anything to do with the day, because we just like to, when we're done, we just like to decompress, talk about some things, get it off our mind, let it flow. Yes. Let it flow. And it could be our story, it could be somebody else's story, but like these are things that go on in our community that need to be talked about. And people need to know about them because sometimes there are underlying issues that are in our community that people are just so afraid to talk about, and they're afraid what people are going to say or what people are going to think, and they're sometimes afraid of the truth.
Yeah.
So we want to start breaking that stigma, and even just just breaking that monotony of everybody just keeping their lips closed and afraid of what people are going to think, and just being afraid of just speaking out like their genuine thoughts. So let's have a little story time. Do you have something that you want to talk about with us? Something juicy?
Oh yes.
We gonna keep it black, but we gonna keep it brief.
She don't have her reaching out to us now. What's it, Lanice?
Right.
Lanice, I think that's her Instagram name.
I love her so much.
She's good.
Oh, she's so good. She always drops the knowledge.
You know what? When we get bigger, it will be good to have like her on the show.
I would love to have her on the show.
You know, because we're working towards that. So
Yes.
it'll be good.
We're just getting started. I hope you guys
started.
like our set here. You know, we're starting from the bottom.
Now we're here.
But yeah.
No, you know what? You mentioned something about the I say a mob mentality. So in today's society, everything's about cancel culture. Cancel this, cancel that. You can't cancel everything. Me being from Kansas, you can't do that because you have a certain group of people that if you start canceling them, they're going to start saying, "Oh, every time we say something, they're canceling us. We don't have a voice. So now we're going to have a voice over here." And usually, when they get into that same sector, everybody starts thinking the same. And in Kansas, a lot of racism. So then all these people are like, yeah, look at them. They're always saying, cancel us. And so they're going to start feeling attacked. And you never want to have white folks feel attacked. I mean, we've seen what happened on January 6th. You don't have to take my word for it. Like I always say, go look up for it yourself. The videos are online. But as me being bi and also like traveling a lot of the world, I'm also a part of the LGBT community as well. And I know that we do have a mob mentality. So when you try to correct or tell some of the popular people, hey, what you're doing is wrong, it's a problem. Because everybody wants to hang out with each other and be best friends forever. And out here in LA, and we'll definitely talk about this on future episodes, you have, if you're not a part of these three groups, if you're not popular, like, on TV or know somebody, if you don't have a lot of, if you're not doing drugs or a drug dealer, or if you're not beautiful, you won't be able to hang around those type of people. The LGBT community is very segregated. People don't want to believe that.
Very segregated, very, how can I say, very vain.
Yes.
Very, and often very hypocritical.
They are. And I've heard this, and this term is actually from Atlanta. I heard this term, no fats or femmes. I was like, okay, but you're always talking about inclusivity and wanting to be included. I said, so that's not inclusivity right there. And then I've also heard this term as well, no fish. And I said, well, what does that mean? Because, I was going to a party and I said, I like me a good fish fry. So, I was like, y'all don't want fish there? I like to put some of that catfish on the grill or something, or fry it or something. And then it's like, no, women are people that associate themselves as women. I said, oh.
So that means, I guess, no trans women? Or?
Yeah, that includes them. But I said, oh, but a lot of y'all are dressed like that. Please explain to me. And I'm a very direct person. I can't dance around people or anything like that. So a recent incident, this is why I say mob mentality. I had an incident with some people in the LGBT community, mostly in the circuit community. And in the circuit community, drugs and sex rules. And if you're not doing that, they don't want to hang out with you. And a lot of people that's on that stuff, they say too much. They send things. If they're upset at you, they spread information. And I just be like, I said, whoa, y'all doing the most. So there was a recent incident with one of my exes with his ex-partner. And we've been going through a lot with him. His name is Julio. And it's on my IG as well. And we went through a lot of drama with this guy. Police called to the house. We had court cases. My car was vandalized, even though Julio said that he didn't do it. The neighbors across the street said we see he was the only one there that was at the house, and it was like my car was all scratched up. There was roommates that my other partner, and I always try people that I haven't really had like a public interaction before. I don't need to say their names. So, but the people I've had public interactions for, the people kind of know who they are. So I don't mind saying their names. It's already out there now. And we went through a lot. We had banging on the windows. I put the videos up on there of him like doing that and the cops being called. Also, there was also an incident where he had told the roommate to get at my ex-partner. So I told my partner, I said, you need to install some cameras into this house because I understand that you're kind of scared here. And I said, it's one day after another, it's this or it's that or this. I said, I'm kind of worn down. And this is why me and his relationship did not last, was because of this. And I said, it's so much. I said, I'm too accomplished and successful to be worried about if he gonna show up and have somebody try to do something to you, or he gonna show up and have somebody do something. He even showed up at my ex-partner's job. I mean, it's too much. And I was just like, these are grown men. They were grown men, huge. They look like they eat buffalo burgers.
I'm done.
Huge. And so I'm sitting here and I'm just like, why are we, and they disguise it, these muscles and stuff, they disguise it as this, but they're technically women. If all you need to do is just get snipped. I don't care. So I think the muscles.
So when you say they're like women, do you like women as in feminine, or just a bitch-minded mentality?
Bitch-minded mentality.
Okay.
And
break that down.
And like I told myself, if I want to hang around this, I'll just hang around with women. At least I know what they expect from them, and this is okay. But they disguise it in masculinity and muscles and stuff. But they watching Housewives and Drag Race, trying to portray these characters, and it's this thing like, oh, I'm gonna check you. I gotta say something. No, you don't have to check me. Oh, I need to tell you. No, you don't have to tell me anything.
Everybody wants to be a Kenya or Nene Leakes these days.
I'm like, I tell everybody, that's TV. This is real life. So his ex, the final straw for me was his ex had went on Instagram and also telling people that we were trying to extort him for money. Julio said we were trying to extort him for money and everything. And I said, extort you for what? You don't have any money. You can't even keep a job. And the people that you are having out here as clients, you take steroids, but you're sitting here telling them that they need to eat right. Be honest with them.
Oh, wait. So let me go back a little bit. So he posted online.
Yes.
That you guys were trying to extort him for money.
Extort him for money.
This is how this started?
Yeah, we were trying to extort him for money. It's actually started way before this, because it was always a back and forth. He also tried to infiltrate some of our previous associates we were hanging around with, and they would tell us everything. I'm just like, it was becoming too much. And in this community, things spread like wildfire. True or not, it spreads. And so then he also told people, and he had made a post that we forced him to sign the house over, a house that he hasn't paid anything into, because he doesn't have any money, and that we held him up at gunpoint. So I told people, I said, listen, I need you to have common sense, because a lot of people in the community don't have common sense. I said, you mean to tell me that we forced you in front of a public notary where I wasn't present, okay, at gunpoint, to sign over this documentation over a house that you never paid into, that you sent emails for, that you said, this is not my house, that you sent voice recordings that you said, this is not my house. This is the people that we are hanging. I think there's a mental illness in the LGBT community that needs to be worked on, mostly with the men. Because the women, we call them lipstick lesbians, they cool. I can get along with the fine. Even some of the studs, mostly the white studs, they've been cool. I'm fine with them. But it's the men. I think there's something that's mentally wrong there, and they think it's okay to act like this and do this. And I said it's not okay. So I sat there and I clapped back and I posted a response to him. He didn't like that. Well, somebody else by the name of Josh hopped into it. Now, Josh was asking questions, and I've had a run-in with him before, and I'll tell you about him in a little bit, but Josh wanted to get involved in a conversation that had nothing to do with him. So he reached out to Julio. They mashed up a post with my information and somebody else. I don't even know who the other person was, because Julio gets into it with a lot of people about his status or whose ever status or whatever happened. I said, first of all, never ever put my information on something that's untruthful. Always have your facts together. Always have your information together. I never said that. You said it. And then the guy who he was getting into an altercation with gave you this information. So Julio gave you the information to post up on your IG. I said, who does that? Who does? That's why I said we have a mental illness in this community somewhere. I said, who does something like that? I said, now, there could have been any illness that anybody was talking about. You know, in the LGBT community, all you got to do is go to a bar. People got cold sores walking all around their mouth, dancing with the music. I mean, there's a lot of disease that run rapid because people are so heavy on drugs, is that they don't take care of their bodies. They don't take care of themselves. And so Josh got involved, and I sent a response, and I told him, I said, well, can't no person who sat here was the mistress in somebody else's relationship, who stole somebody else's man with his friends, and we'll talk about this thing called friendship later, ever come for me and say anything about me that you shouldn't have been involved in. This conversation, this incident have nothing to do with you. But this is the problem with this community. They gotta be like Drag Race and Housewives. I gotta tell you, you don't have to get involved or say anything. You can just mind your business. And if you say I said something, make sure it's truthful. So I also explain that because with the guy that he's currently with now, I'll call him Mr. Chocolate. So that'll be his name. And the guy that he was dating, I'll call him Sadiq. Okay. So we'll name that. And this is the same dude that was involved in their relationship, and it was a threesome. And so now what the story was, and people, this is funny, everybody's all up in his face, but they was talking about him like a dog. Like, you know, he's all trying to get into their relationship, and these two are already together and things of that nature. And I was like, well, why don't y'all just say something? I said, y'all supposed to be friends, but y'all talking behind his back like a dog. I said,
see, that's one thing I don't like about our community.
It's bad.
Is the back talk and talking behind and saying all this stuff when somebody's not in the room.
This term, hey friend, when I hear anybody say that,
right, hey friend,
I'm like,
But it bothers me when, particularly like I'm around kind of like the people that frequent like the circuit parties or like those kinds of gay events, that they always have something to say about people that aren't there. But then when those people are around, they're like, hey,
yes,
just hugging, or, you know, just like acting as if they weren't just talking complete behind their back. And then even like when people like come to me with stuff, I'm kind of like, I'm sorry, but do you know either like, do you know that's my friend? Because like, I'm sorry, you're just not going to talk bad about my friend to me. Or I'm just like, that has nothing to do with me, so can you take that somewhere else? Or I'm just kind of like, why are you even talking about that person? They're not here. Like, what are you doing?
And
like,
it's prevalent.
Like, what are you doing?
And it's prevalent. And then when you say something to them, it's oh, you're the problem. This is another thing. It's this mom, oh, you're the problem. You're the person. No, you guys are sitting here, and that term friend, if I wanted to, and this is what's funny, because when I got into it with Josh, I said, if I wanted to, there's text messages, videos, voice recordings, all the stuff that share with me, share with others. I could get some stuff started if I wanted to, if I was that type of person. I said, but I'm not. I'm not into that Housewives Drag Race type drama. I said, it doesn't benefit me. They need this validation from them because it makes it seem like they got something on somebody. And so for me, I say, you know, just keep my name out of it. Just keep me far away from it. And then one of his friends who reached out to me, who they talk about like a dog, literally, I mean, we try to invite, you know, for kickbacks. I said, hey, what's the name, want to come over for a kickback? And it's like, oh no, he be boo-booing on boys. You know, and I was like, what? I was like, okay. And then they also said, you know, every time they try to invite him over, he wants to invite the Latinos. The Latinos only want to hang around each other. And then they want to get the better looking black dude to come, you know, hang out with them in that type of way. And I was just like, okay, so why don't you just tell him how y'all feel? They're like, oh no, we don't want to say nothing. I was like, okay, you guys, y'all are men. Come on, like, where's y'all testosterone at? If you have a problem with somebody, you have a conversation with them about,
just speak up.
Yeah, something about how you're feeling about it instead of dancing around the question. And so then from there, the aloof one that everybody talks about, who they always they're going to go visit him in Colombia, which was funny. I said, they talk about this dude like a dog, and all of a sudden they're going to go visit him in Colombia. I was like, okay, interesting. I'll tell you, if I wanted to, I can get stuff started. And I was like, that's just not my energy. Well, then the aloof one came to me. He was like, well, you know, you can really get Josh in trouble because I also told Josh, I said, you're sitting here talking about you're a community advocate, but you sell drugs to people in the community. Drugs in this community is very heavy, especially in the circuit community. And so a lot of people, we wonder why we have a lot of homeless. I mean, it's besides a lot of kids that's like been in foster care and stuff, but it's a lot of drugs that's out here. And so I told him, I said, you literally sell drugs to the community. He works for like one of the AIDS centers out here or something. But I said, you sell drugs to the people I've seen fall out over your drugs. But you're calling yourself a community advocate. So I said, I want you to process that. You're a community advocate drug dealer. I want you to, I mean, I want you to process that. I said, that's like telling any of the drug dealers, popular drug dealers from the past, like Popco, Escobar, whoever, oh, you're a community advocate. And I told him, I said, the thing was, you should have stayed in your lane. This had nothing to do with you. I said, y'all sat here and stole Sadiq's man away from him. And I said, in the process of stealing it, I was invited to one of this person's party, who's a dancer. I was invited to one of their parties, and it was at the house. So we were staying in the house with Sadiq, Josh, and Mr. Chocolate. And so we were staying in there with them. And we came back one day, and Sadiq was in the pool by himself. And he was like really, really, really sad. And I said, hey, what's going on, man? I said, is there, you not happy? And he just looked like he was like almost in tears, and then, he kind of like wiped his eyes or whatever. And he said, this is not what I wanted. And I said, well, what do you mean this is not what you wanted? I was confused on the question, because I was like, what do you not want? And he said, well, the problem is, I want to be with Mr. Chocolate. And this other person just hopped himself into our conversation, and then his friends is sitting there trying to break us up because they didn't really care for Sadiq. They care for Mr. Chocolate. He's a nice looking guy, bigger penis, all this other stuff. That's what they want in their group settings. And so I said, well, where's Mr. Chocolate and Josh at? Oh, they're in the room. I said, okay, so you're not in the room trying to get this resolved with them? He's like, no, they kicked me out because they want to have sex together. When I tell you, I said, ain't no damn way somebody gonna be in there throwing it back on anybody better than I am and kick me out of my own room. I said, and then when you start hearing what other people were saying, you start hearing what other people were saying, they said it was because of the drugs. And Sadiq don't have that. Sadiq has a great body, but he can't offer him drugs. He's not a drug dealer. So Sadiq was like,
I'm sorry, pause. Listen, I'm hearing all of this for the first time, just like you guys are. So I'm just like, woo. And because I know the people that he's talking about, I'm just kind of like, so I don't. And I also know he doesn't just say stuff. He doesn't just like lie. Like there's a reason.
I don't cause drama with people. And I said the thing was, I said, if Josh would have stayed in his lane, this wouldn't have happened. Everybody, and I said, this is the problem. You had Julio who's calling people the N-word, but now he's dating a black guy, but talks about the black guy like a dog because the black guy pays for everything. And I said, and then on top of that, you were out here having sex with other people in a group sex party. And I'm just like, really? I said, so I'll tell people, y'all need to stay in y'all lane. Stop worrying about what others are doing and stay in y'all lane. And this is the problem. Josh had no reason getting involved in something. So then it actually blew up because of Josh. Because my friends, they was reviewing it and they said, hold up, we're looking at the photos and postings. It seemed like he then took your stuff, matched it with somebody else, and then you clap back and now all of his friends is like trying to come at you and all upset. And I said, well, this is the problem. Like what I said before, in the LGBT community, we have this mob mentality. I don't bother nobody. You know me, I'm usually gone. I'm at work, I am gone. I don't have enough time to do this stuff. So for me, it's just like, and I almost lost a lot of good friends because they said, well, why were you hanging around people like that anyways? I mean, it seemed like either you got to be doing drugs and sex with them or it's nothing at all. They talk about each other like a dog. We see, because they look at some of their posts, and they said some of the posts that they post just seem kind of dramatic, drama-filled. They said, you shouldn't have been hanging around those people anyway. So I almost lost good connections hanging around with guys like this.
Yes.
So that's why I tell you, you have to pick your circle. And I'll talk about this in another episode.
Yes.
When I was hanging around these guys and we went to Guadalajara. And the horrible experience I had in Guadalajara hanging around with these guys.
We'll stick a pin in that because we will save Guadalajara or whatever the next part of the conversation for our next story time because I need to digest everything that I just had.
But this is the thing I'll tell you. It's a thing. If you don't have your facts together, leave it alone. If you don't know what you're talking about, stay in your lane. If you don't know what the situation is about, mind your business. That's all I was saying about the situation. It would have never became like this if he didn't get involved in it. I'm like, we don't even roll like that for you to even say anything to me.
You said it became like this as in your clapback?
It got blown up because it was actually me and Josh's conversation was actually kind of private.
Yeah.
And then me and Josh already had an incident before because me and him never really liked each other because, you know, if you ask me a question, you know I'm going to answer it.
Yeah.
And people in the past, they knew we was in the house with them. And they said, well, what do you think about Mr. Chocolate and Sadiq and Josh and everything? Because, you know, and all his friends, these people, they was talking about him like a dog and then all up in his face. This is the thing that happens in this.
Yeah, selective outrage.
Yeah, it's selective outrage in this crew. And I told him, I said, well, first of all, if he's supposed to be the mistress, you're the mistress. You're in and you're out. You know, my uncles used to have mistresses. I mean, you're in and you're out. You are not the wife. You're not the wife. This is him and his wife and kids. So you need to go ahead and move along.
Right.
And I said, that's how I feel about it. I said, you know, and it's not how I feel. I said, that's what the facts are. That's what it's supposed to be. But I said, you're getting a lot of you guys.
We like facts over here.
On heavy on drugs. You're not going to get that because people are so high they can't function.
Oh Lord.
So that's why for me, that's why I told him, I said, he need to stay in this lane. It's okay for you to do what you do, but don't put me involved in that. If he didn't want me saying that he's a community drug dealer or whatever, which is true, then you need to keep my name out of your mouth. I don't have nothing to do with anything going on with you, but you had no right to hop into a conversation and embellish a story about me, not knowing what was going to happen.
Right. He said, keep my name out your mother.
That's all I ask.
Mouth.
That's all I ask.
Well, that will bring us to a close today. Make sure you guys are following us on all platforms. The Yin Yang Show.
I'm Yin.
And I'm Yang. And you guys should have an amazing, amazing day. Love and light to you all.
Hello, ladies and gentlethems. If you're enjoying the show, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can not only be a part of the conversation, but you will also be in the know when we upload new content. Love and light to you all.